Good afternoon, everybody, and this is once again an English presentation. Today we are going to continue with our series on creative writing, and as you can see, we are now on to transactional writing, and this is the first part of the transactional writing pair of presentations. Let us go directly into it then. Today, a few transactional writing tips. The first one is the format matters. Each transactional piece has their own format. It is strongly recommended that you learn those formats in order to be able to write the pieces more fluently. Second, always check, is the language usage formal or informal? That will make a big difference as to how you will be writing. Now, let's take a look. What are transactional texts? Basically, this is non-fiction writing, and it's for communication. An example I've included is every time we use our phones to send any form of text message, we are essentially using a transactional text. Now, here are some examples of transactional texts. There are far too many for me to read them all out to you now, but it is these ones that we will be doing both today and on Thursday. Let's start with letter writing. We've got here informal letters, which are really in reality no longer used in real life, but you have to know this. You first check the address. If it's an international letter, you must include in your address the name of the country from which the letter is being sent. Introduction. Please don't make your introduction boring. You mustn't say something like, I am pleased to be writing this letter to you, or hello, how are you? I'm fine. Those are really silly ways to start. Come up with something of your own, such as, great to hear from you again, so pleased to hear you're doing well, or something like that. Then your salutation. Never does a letter salutation contain a colon. You see that? It's not dear Timothy, it's dear Timothy, finished. That's how it's done. And then for an informal letter, you don't use a formal conclusion. You'll do not use yours sincerely, yours faithfully. You're going to use something like your loving son, or your daughter, and the name afterwards. Formal letters. Okay, the format of these is very important. There are in fact 13 different format details. You have to know them all. I'm not going to go into them now. It's too much. It's a lesson by itself. But just bear in mind that all formal letters are written to a person, a specific person. If you don't know the person's name, you'll say something like the principal, Osborne's Academy of Excellence, something like that. Or otherwise, the managing director, Edgar's Clothing, anything like that. But it must always be a specific person. Okay, again, don't use a colon. It's not dear sir, it's dear sir, or dear madam, or dear sir, madam. And then remember, it's a three-part ending. It's yours sincerely or yours faithfully, and a signature and a name. Letter to the editor, very similar to our standard formal letter. And here you'll see the only difference really is that you don't use dear sir, you will just use sir or madam as your salutation. And remember that a letter to the editor is not to the editor. It's actually you're asking the editor to publish it on your behalf so that all the readers of the publication can read your opinion on a topic. Speech. Oh boy, I love speeches. And you guys probably are very good at them, because I've noticed invariably you are. The one thing about speeches, don't overdo greetings or conclusions. There isn't enough space on your page. My favorite greeting is just good evening everyone, or something like that. And the conclusion is simply thank you, goodbye. Keep it very short. If you can, make a joke or two in the speech. Everybody likes to laugh. And remember that all the best speeches are fully original. Don't copy from somebody else. You must, as far as you can, come up with your own ideas. We go on to dialogue, which is a fantastic choice. People are very good at dialogues, and I love reading them for that reason. Always remember, a dialogue is between two people only. Dia means two, log means speak. So it's two people speaking. Do not include more than two speakers. That is important. Dialogues, well, you'll be given them in various formats: phone call, interview. Often they'll give you a picture of people talking to each other and say that you must describe the conversation that is in progress. Do not include greetings or goodbyes in a dialogue. It's similar to a speech in this regard. You don't have the word count available for greetings or goodbyes. I mean, you must see some of the horrible dialogues I've seen. You know, hello, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? No, I'm fine too, thank you. Come in and sit down. No, 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 no. That is nonsense. That is digression. It's got nothing to do with the topic. Keep the dialogues to the point, absolutely to the point. Reports. Okay, always remember it's for either a person or an entity. For example, if you are writing a report about an incident that happened at your school, you can address it to the school governing body as opposed to the principal or the HOD or something like that. So in that case, it can be either a person or a specific group of people. You must always end it off with your name and rank. For example, Tabu Sedebedi, grade 8 student at the Osborne's Academy. That's your rank. And remember that reports are absolutely detailed. It's exactly the same as making a statement to the police. And here is the format. I'm not going to go into this. I'm putting it onto the board in the hopes that any teachers who are watching will see that that is the correct format of a report if you don't already have it. Finally, well, not finally at all, but advertisements. Oh, I love these things. You can be so original and creative with an advertisement. You can have fun. Notice that advertisements include posters and flyers. They are essentially just another form of advertisement, but they all work on the same principle. Remember that you can do pictures, borders and stuff, but you're not going to get any marks for them. They merely improve the appearance. The marks are always given for the written text only. Please use some variety in your fonts. That's a great way to vary your stuff. You'll see it works brilliantly. When I say font, it's the size of your letters and the type of your letters, you know, different appearances. AIDA principle: attention, interest, desire, action. If your teacher has not already taught you this, then ask him or her about it. And that is essentially the AIDA principle, is how to compile a decent advert. Please don't forget, for action, you must have contact details at the end of your advertisement. Instructions, here we go. All require detail. Please, they must be clear, 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 and they must be written or may be written in point form. It's not compulsory, but it is highly recommended because it makes it clearer. There's no confusion about some of the details. Finally, directions. If you can't use the directions to reach your destination, the directions are a failure. So above all, they must enable you to reach your destination, otherwise they are valueless. All required detail must obviously be included there in order to get you to your destination. And then don't write it out all in a block format with the sentences separated by commas. Again, rather write the sentences in numbered point form. It makes everything so much clearer. Thank you. I'm going to leave you now with this final simple task. I hope that you enjoy it.